Okay, part two. I'll have to put this up as a two-part video. So anyway, there's a lot of hope for Brussels sprouts because they have a lot of runway. In other words, these things will be the last thing in the garden, and I pushed them all the way out into December last year, and I got Brussels sprouts even though they were stunted for some reason last year. And I don't know why, even though they had nobody attacking them. The cherry tomatoes, which I had a different type of this year, have been doing great. And I've picked quite a few, but they are not as prolific as they have been. They're slow this year. But you can see I'm getting cherry tomatoes here. I've already picked most of the ones that are ripe. But you can see they're around. And plenty more to come. And the regular tomatoes are just beginning. I've had one beefsteaker, but there's more coming. Not as many as a normal year. The plants are not bearing as many tomatoes as they often do. And they're coming in slower. More of the tomatoes. There's another one of the squash that the critter ate the tops all off of. These guys just die. This is another problem I get. I don't know what it is. They're in the ground. It's not that they're being boiled. Whoops, I just stepped in water. I'm going to have to change my shoes now. So all these have died. I don't know why. They die every year. I don't see anything. But maybe there's something in the stalk or underneath it. I've never really checked into it. My own fault. Never really took an interest. They just go to a certain point and then boom, they die. Just like you see there. And the stalks on them, the bottom part gets all mushy. And I'm assuming something is eating that from the inside out. And I don't know how you prevent that. Here's a good example, actually. See what's happening? Something is just turning that into mush. And that's never any good for the plant. So I just stepped in water because when I said, uh-oh, I'm going to have to stop this, the barrel was overflowing, and then it overflowed and went right down a row with water, and I stepped right in the water. All right, so this is more tomatoes. These are the few. I get 2 Sweet 100 plants. So there's a lot of these to come in yet. Just a different type of sweet tomato. And here's what should have turned out to be corn. We're going to get nothing this year. See what's happening? It's already trying to form an ear, but these stalks, they're not even a couple of feet high, and they're twiggies. So I'm going to be ripping all this out shortly too. It's a waste. I also have this going on from, I believe that same creature is one by one eating the stalks down. So between the weather, the drought that is, and then the critter, didn't get any corn this year. And I almost always get corn. That's just like one of the unkillable ones. But this year, killed. Like I said, with gardening, you don't know from one year to the next what you're going to get. And even the Jerusalem artichokes don't look wonderful. You can tell it just from the leaves. They are suffering from the drought too. I've been trying to actually treat that like part of the garden. I normally don't water it because the rain gives it enough, but this year I probably should have been watering it every day. So that's kind of it. Oh yeah, the wall of glory. Yes, it is still expanding. It didn't expand as much as it does in a year when there's plenty of rain, though. It would have covered this entire wall here, complete, with no holes, but there's plenty of holes. Big hole right here. But it would have covered it all. But it does go all the way down to there, so I got plenty of morning glories. It's just that everything has been affected by this weather. There are conditions every year that affect gardens, whether it's bugs, a certain increase in a certain type of bug, weather, you name it. There's always something. And gardeners just never know what they're going to be dealing with. And I'm not a master gardener. I don't even claim to be. That's it, folks. That's the quick tour. I'll do another one maybe towards the very end if there's anything interesting to see. I expect I'll get Brussels sprouts. I don't know if I'll get any trombosino squash. I try every year. I never get any. So we'll keep trying.